Hello, everybody. Welcome to another inspiration episode on Art Whisper 88. My inspiration today is Al Held, one of my favorite American painters. Now, this is from the website ArtNet. It says here, Al Held was an influential American artist, appreciated for his monumental hard-edge paintings. Held focused on abstract geometric forms existing in a non-Euclidean space. Born in Brooklyn, New York on October 12, 1928, to Polish immigrants, he spent 2 years serving in the U.S. Navy before enrolling in the Art Students League of New York. What you see on your screen is a painting called Taxicab, painted in 1957, and I was very attracted to the very formal, structured composition of this, and I will use it as jumping point where I can reinterpret the image with my own vocabulary. So sit tight, and I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, everybody, this is my Sharpie pen, a real fat one. It's called Magnum, and I will use it to make thick black lines. I will do a combination of circles and ovals. These are connected with these bridges. Okay, that's it for the thick lines, and then I have thinner lines. This is a smaller Sharpie pen. Now this is a contrast to the squiggly and curvy lines that I usually do. This time they will be straight lines. Okay, so that's it for the thinner lines. Now I'm going to allow these black marks, I'm going to allow them to dry. They are alcohol based. So they need to dry so that when I apply the second layer of acrylic, it's not going to smear. So I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, now taking inspiration from that taxi cab painting, I'm going to use cadmium yellow deep. Now I'm assuming this is inspired by the color of the New York taxi cabs. Have some yellow ochre for some variation. And then some, this is raw sienna, just to give a little darker value. And this is Venetian rose. And this is cadmium orange deep. So it'll be an interesting mix of colors. Okay. Now this time I will be using a wider brayer. I'm going to start with the cadmium yellow. Sometimes I get these little areas of very thick paint and they tend not to transfer well, so I'm trying to even them out. Okay. Just add some more lines. These are more free-form lines to give some contrast to the very strict geometric structure. Okay, let me just clear out the table. Table gets cluttered in no time. Again, I'm using Richardson watercolor paper, 22 by 30 cold press. And I'm using the smooth side. And I'm really pressing firmly because I want the markers to transfer. Okay, so I'm going to leave this for about 5 minutes and I will be right back. I think the marker transferred very well. Okay, check this out. Okay, I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes and then I will think about a next layer. In the meantime, here are a few more talented viewers who submitted their artwork for you to enjoy. So sit back and relax. I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, everybody, here are the reusable stencils. This is the second layer, and I am going to attempt a split fountain. This is Lucas Turquoise Deep. So I'll do a darker strip in the middle These squeeze bottles tend to make these funny noises. Well, first of all, let me roll this out. I have to use a bristle brush because my nozzle is clogged. See this big glob of snot. This is not going to work. So I have to do it like this because the nozzle is too clogged up. Okay, that's better. So what I'll do is just brush on the parts that are exposed. No, it's not an ideal situation, but it's the best I can do. Okay. So I will try my best to blend this in. Okay. Let me just clear out the table. Now a lot of the paint has gone underneath the stencils because the paint is very thick, but I can do my best to clean it up. This part is a little messy, but hopefully it will work out. So here is the first pull. Again, I will leave this on for about 5 minutes. I hope it's not too messy. I think it's a very good contrast with the orange. Right. Pretty striking. So I'm going to let this dry and then move on to the next step. I'm going to decide whether to leave this alone or add another layer. I have to think about this. So I will be right back. Well, I couldn't leave well enough alone. I took one long, hard look at the piece, and I think it needs another layer just to give it some complexity. Just like the inspiration piece. So the inspiration piece is not by any means minimal. It's very complicated. So just to follow the cue of Al Held, I will make this a little more complex. Okay. Now this time I'm going to deliberately leave some areas untouched so it's not so very uniform. And again, I'm going to do some textures. Let's see how this works out. Okay, now in the meantime, while this is drying, or while this is soaking up the pigment, I'm going to show you some more wonderful submissions by some very talented viewers. So I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, let's see how we made out. This is exciting. I think it gives it the contrast that it needs. I like that. It's more like a painting. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, here's to recap. Here is the piece. It's dried nicely. Let me show you a close-up. I think the final layer gives a lot of depth, gives you a sense of foreground and background, and the textures are really interesting to look at. Me place this to one side, and I'll place the original inspiration piece on the left side. So I hope you liked this video. This was really a lot of fun to do. Please look up the biography and work of Al Held. I really admire his work, and he is, in my opinion, pretty much underappreciated because he did some really daring and fantastic work. So thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Please check out artwhisperer88.com, which is my storefront, and the sales of these pieces help to fund this channel and keep it going. Thank you, and I hope to see you next time.